Hello and welcome to this SimScale demonstration. My name is Ioannis. I'm a senior application engineer with SimScale, and today we are going to see how easy it is to simulate a sealing system using our advanced nonlinear capabilities. Our goal for today is to simulate a bidirectional sealing system. This will be a nonlinear analysis, and we see our assembly consists of 4 parts. We have the rod, the groove, which stay in place, and then we have the D-shaped seal, which is a plastic material, and the quad-ring rubber part, which is our actual rubber to energize the process. We are going to solve this process in a multi-step way, where initially we assemble the parts together, and then later we apply the pressure coming from the top and the bottom side in turns. In the end, we want to inspect the results, and in this case, the results of interest are typically the contact pressure between the different components, especially the rod and the seal, the contact force applied on the rod or other components, and of course the shape of the components during the pressurization, and whether or not there is any plastification happening throughout the process. Before we move into the setup, let's take a look on how the final results should look like. You can see initially we have the positioning of the tool that pushes the quad-ring in place, and then we have the pressurization happening first from the top and then from the bottom, compressing the two components, the quad-ring and the seal. Looks like a complex process, but let's see how easy it is to do it in SimScale. So we start with our geometry by uploading the quarter symmetry model. You can drag and drop any geometry file in SimScale and it should be uploaded in the platform, and you are ready to simulate with that. In this case, we are going to use a smaller model like a sector, 1 degree sector, to help us a bit by making the simulation domain a bit smaller, and thus allowing us to be a bit more accurate. Okay, so when we prepare the sector, we can now we can see that we can also add have also added a tool. We can now start a new simulation by creating, hitting the Create Simulation button in the platform. You have many capabilities in SimScale, including CFD, structural, and electromagnetics, but in this case, we are focusing on the advanced nonlinear mechanical capabilities powered by the Mark solver that we have integrated in the background. Let's go and review this prepare simulation to show you a step-by-step process on how easy it is to set up one of these on your own. The first thing we want to deal with is the contacts. In SimScale, you can define any number of contacts, and in this nonlinear analysis, we have created 6 different touching contacts to describe the behavior between the different components. We can either have a bonding or a touching contact, and we can also add friction if needed, and deactivate contacts in different load steps. Next is the material properties, quite important for this simulation. For the quad-ring, we use an elastomer material or a rubber, and for that we apply the hyperelastic material behavior, which is available to you in the platform. For the seal, as we said, this is a plastic material, so in this case we are going to use an elastoplastic material law to better describe the deformation process of this plastic material, because an elastic material law wouldn't be sufficient in this case. And finally, for the other parts, we don't care too much. We can just use standard steel to apply to these materials and describe their behavior. Moving on, next is the boundary conditions, where we have defined the imposed displacements and the pressures in this step. So the groove remains fixed in place throughout the whole simulation. The tool is used to position the quad-ring in place. So the tool, we have defined it through a table to say exactly that in the first time step you should move a certain distance to push the component in place, and then go back, retract back to not affect the simulation anymore. The rod, it can also be either totally fixed in space, but it can also move up and down. In this case, it moves up and down. So we use the same process and actually created a tabular input to prescribe the upward and downward motion. Next, we move to the pressures, where here is the interesting part. We apply the pressure initially at the top surfaces. In this case, we apply a 50 bar pressure, as you can see here at the table. And this is only applied in the third step because initially we don't have any pressure application during the first two steps because it's the positioning stage. In the third step, we apply the 50 bar pressure from the top, and then later we apply the same pressure from the bottom at the bottom surfaces. Finally, we have the symmetry boundary conditions. In this case, we use them to define the 1 degree sector domain that is going to constrain the geometry within this range. So we create two planes, one on each side, and then we assign all the parts on these planes to tell actually the software that this part cannot really exit or surpass this region. It's worth mentioning about the load steps, where in this case, we split the case for clarity into 4 load steps, where load step 1 and 2 is the positioning and fitting, and load step 3 and 4 are the pressurization from different sides. In the solution control, since we have 4 steps, we have defined a total time of 4 seconds, 4 steps, and a quite small initial time step to capture all the details. We used a 4-core machine for this simulation, but with SimScale you can go up to 192 cores without any problem to solve even the most complex cases that you can imagine. The meshing process is also quite easy in SimScale. We used a very coarse mesh on the tools and the rod and the tool and the groove, but we use a slightly finer mesh on the components that deform significantly, which is the seal and the quad ring in this case. We are using a tetrahedral mesh, and using Mark technology, this is quite able to handle the very high deformations and plasticity that might happen in this case. Before we move into the simulation, we can also define a result control. It's very important to include the contact pressure as a result control in this simulation, and also the plastic strain that might indicate any locations of plastification. It's very important to do that before the simulation, otherwise we won't get these results. Finally, since we want to measure the reaction forces on the different components, it's worth adding a contact body force result control to calculate the different forces in the components of interest. In this case, the rod is one of these components, and maybe also the seal could be one of those. And that's pretty much it, guys. We are ready to start the simulation, and we hit the start button, and there is a new run now being launched in the cloud for us. Now, instead of waiting for the simulation to finish, we can already post-process the finished simulation that I created before. We can move the slider on the right to the right location to visualize the different stages of the process, of this multi-step process. In this case, let's just focus on type step 3, which is the end of the first pressurization phase. As we said, contact pressure is one of the most important results we want to visualize. And to do that, we can also use the plot over path functionality to basically plot the development of the contact pressure across the contact between the parts. We can see the nice plot being generated. In these cases, we of course need the pressure to stay above a certain limit based on the specifications to ensure the proper sealing is achieved. Another result of interest would be the von Mises stresses. We want to identify regions of high von Mises stresses because those might hide some plastification. Indeed, in this case, we can see there is very high plastic strain in this region, which means that the part has permanently deformed, which is apparently not really good for the performance of our system. So in this case, we might want to make some design changes. Going back to the slides, we can see the animation again, and then summarizing the results. We again see the very nice plot of the contact pressure along the path, and also the contact body force that we asked for during the setup, and it's printed as a result control in the simulation. I hope you enjoyed this nice how-to video, everyone. Till the next one, have a nice time. Bye.